Back to the Burmeister Briley bout. It's 5-2 Briley from Ohio State in this Épée quarterfinal match. Although it is Burmeister who has taken the fight to Briley, and Burmeister gets the touch. John Horrigan joined by Terrence Gargiulo, who's right now directing a match across the way. Also Peter Boriskin, our director. Special thanks to Mr. Jack Malloy, Brian Koval, Barbara Bickford, Mr. Jeff Cohen, the NCAA. Thanks for letting ABT come in here and tape your tournament. The 6-3 match now. And Brett Briley from Ohio State. The officials here today: Jeff Bukantz, Gary DeSaro, Sharon Everson, Bob Essington, Terrence Gargiulo, George Gonzalez-Rivas, Maureen Griffin, Jane Hall, Sandra Kiss, Marcus Lucetti, Greg Messialis, Jonathan Moss, Alex Orban, Michael Peterson, Edward Ritter, Andrew Shaw, Janusz Steplowski, Attilio Tas, Jack Tikacek, Stacy Johnson, Ted Lee, Roland Francis, and George Mason. Speaking of Attilio Tas from Tucson, Arizona, got a chance to take a look at his Fencing Action News. Great program. It is a first, folks, the first ever program on fencing to be released at the local origination level. So basically what I'm doing with this is I'm just following in Attilio's footprints. But hello to all the fans there at Fencing Action News. Good to see you. Can you send me some of your weather from Arizona? We'll send you some clouds and some rain from Boston. Right now Burmeister trailing 7-4, trying to take the match to Briley. Briley on the right, Burmeister, the aggressor. And it is Briley with the riposte and the touch. I'm learning, aren't I, Peter? Huh?
You certainly are. You have the lingo down pat, I would say.
So right now, Burmeister, Justin, lifting up his mask. This is a grueling day, Peter. It's not one fence and go home. It's you're going to fence until you're caged in.
That's right. It's fence, wait, fence, wait, fence, wait. And sometimes that, or actually most of the time, that tends to be the worst on people's endurance. If you can just fence a lot of bouts and then just retire, collapse in a pile, it sometimes tends to be easier just to get it over with as opposed to the extended waiting.
9-4 Briley, first one of 15. You were telling me before we went on the air about a fencing match you had at your old high school that went on forever.
It was unfortunately held in such a small room, and with so many schools, there were actually 7 or 8 schools, where we had to fence against another school, then 2 schools would fence against each other, then we'd fence another school, and it would just go on because it was all 3 male weapons and then women's foil, and it lasted past midnight.
And I'm sure the last thing you wanted to do was fence the next day. 9-4 and 10-4 now. Burmeister getting a little exasperated as Briley is taking this match handedly. In the men's épée from 1993, Ben Atkins won it all from Columbia with a record of 15-3. Chris Klaus from Princeton was second. Tamir Bloom from Pennsylvania third. Harold Bauder from Wayne State fourth. Matt Anderson from Duke fifth. 6th was Mike Schwartz from Illinois. 7th, Daniel Charlick from Columbia. 8th, Lorenz Schweitzer from Cal Santa Cruz. Jeff Paczynski from Notre Dame 9th. And Ben Millett from Penn State was 10th. In the men's foil division last year in scoring, Yale was on top at 1,200, followed by Penn State with 1,000. 875 for Columbia. And then rounding it out, Notre Dame at 750. Stanford at 550. Now we're going to move back over to Maitre's match. Maitre is a fencer from Massachusetts. He's taking on a formidable opponent. This is the Épée division. It's the quarterfinals that you're watching. Maitre to the right of your screen. And people still filing into the Gosman Center to take in these fencing championships. You know, there's virtually a match on every single strip on the left side of this building. As they try to determine Maitre scoring there, they try to determine who will go on to the semifinal round and eventually the gold medal round. On the other match, Briley still leading Burmeister from Brandeis 10-5. When you see the red light go on, that means that the fencer on the left of your screen has scored a touch. When you see the green light on, that means the fencer on the right side of your screen has scored a touch. So that is the end of the second period between Harold Bauder of Wayne State on your left and Ben Maitre of the Air Force Academy in Massachusetts on your right. Back to the Burmeister match. Burmeister on your left, Briley from Ohio State on your right. It's a 12-6 match. Briley dominating this one. He has been the aggressor. Now there's a touch. They're going to credit the touch for Burmeister, 12-7. Burmeister trailing by 5 touches. George Gonzalez-Rivas, the director of this match. Harold Bauder and Ben Maitre are still waiting. They're in an intermission period in their bout. They give the touch here to Justin Burmeister of Brandeis University. It's a 12-8 match now as Burmeister trailing by 4. First one of 15 by 2. Briley being backed up into what Peter described as the edge of the cliff. Good description. You go beyond that and you lose a point. Now, if you notice the lateral movement, if you notice Burmeister is towing that line on the edge of the strip. They're just, both fencers just touching blades of their épée, glancing blows there. It's the parry, of course, is when you knock the attacker's blade away from you, either to the left or the right usually. A riposte is almost like a counterpunch. And there, as you see, it is 13-9. Burmeister taking off his mask in disgust as Briley got the better of him on that exchange. Briley from Ohio State. Burmeister from the hometown. Brandeis judges. As you see, Burmeister, again, his footwork, he is just towing the line on the forward lateral edge of this strip number 1. It is 13-9, both fencers breaking. As we pan back to the Ben Maitre and Harold Bauder match, which is just down to our left, taking place on strip number 1. Unfortunately, I don't have a score for you, but we'll try to get the director and find out what the score is. And this Maitre is on the right from the Air Force Academy in Massachusetts. On the left is Harold Bauder from Wayne State. That touch awarded to Bauder, and the match is over. Bauder will advance. So, Harold Bauder from Wayne State defeats Ben Maitre from the Air Force Academy. And as we pan back to the right, the Burmeister match is back underway. It is 14-10. Now Briley needs one touch for the victory here. Now, a nice move by Burmeister. As he lunged forward, landed the touch, a valid hit. It is 14-11. Briley needing one here to advance. He's from Ohio State on the right of your screen. George Gonzalez-Rivas is the director. Now, as you see, Burmeister once again towing the lateral line. He's the aggressor here. He needs to score and score big. He's trailing by 3, and he gets the touch, and that's a very, very big touch. This can change the ever-swaying pendulum of momentum. Has changed at this time. It's in favor of Justin Burmeister. It's 14-12 now. Briley's big lead has shrunk to 2. Once again, Burmeister taking the sword fight to him. Oh, and a nice hit by Burmeister. Burmeister right back in it. This one's going to go right down to the wire. I tell you, it's quickly turning into a knife fight. Some of you find a back alley. 14-13 now. Briley on the right from Ohio State. Burmeister, he's game. He's trailing by 1. Burmeister tried to lunge, and there's the touch by Briley. You see him celebrating, and Brett Briley has defeated Brandeis' Justin Burmeister here and the Épée, and you can see that Briley is going wild. Oh, right now we have some special guests, though. I believe it's the 2 Olgas, isn't it, from Penn State? How you doing?
Good. Yeah, I'd like to introduce to our community 2 very, very special fencers from Penn State whom we had an opportunity to watch fence yesterday. To my right, I have Olga Chernyak from Penn State and Olga Kalinovskaya. Did I say that right, Olga?
Yeah.
I've been working on my Russian, and she's been coaching me a lot. Yesterday, we saw a remarkable final from you guys. You guys pretty much trounced Notre Dame. What was going through your mind, Olga?
Well, we have a pretty strong team, and we just wanted to pull together and win. So, and we didn't fence Notre Dame. It was UPenn that we fenced.
UPenn. Thank you. I stand corrected. Did you beat Notre Dame earlier in the day?
No, we didn't fence Notre Dame. I think they got knocked out before they ever got to us. So.
They got knocked out. Yeah. How long, Olga, have you been fencing?
What, 12 years?
12 years. And yourself, Olga?
11.
I feel like I'm in between an Olga sandwich here. And
aren't you lucky?
And aren't I lucky?
You need to make a wish because it's a superstitious thing. If you make a wish, it'll come true if you stand in between 2 people with the same name.
Well, I have a wish, and I hope it does come true. Olga, how many?
I made one, but Terrence is still here.
Olga, how many years have you been fencing?
11.
11. And is it true? I heard that you are recently now a citizen of the United States.
Yes, I got my citizenship May 17th last year.
Congratulations. To my left, Olga is last year's NCAA defending champion. Do you think that you're going to win this year? And if not, who might pose the biggest threat to you?
Oh, I'll win. Don't worry.
She will definitely win. This is one confident, and I think her biggest competitor is her teammate and close friend here on the right, Olga Chernyak. Thank you, Olga and Olga, for joining us today, and we look forward to watching you fence tomorrow. Thank you.
John Horrigan back with Terrence Gargiulo. Good interview with the 2 Olgas. I have a crush on the other Olga on the right side, but you were just doing a match moments ago. Tell me about the intricacies that are direct, folks. I'm losing my voice, and the people are applauding at home, I might add. Tell me some of the intricacies that you have to be aware of as a director, and do you have to adjust to the fencers? Say if somebody has a particular style, you can't take points away from them or be prejudiced towards them because they have, say, an unorthodox style? Is that a question that you can handle?
Certainly. I think in terms of directing, you'll notice at the beginning of the bout that I will first test the weapons of each competitor. Now, the weapons must pass 2 tests. The first test is a weight test, John. I place a weight that weighs 750 grams. Now, in the tip of the weapon, and a little bit later, we will be showing you a weapon up and close, so this will be a little bit more apparent at that time. But inside of the barrel of the weapon, there is a spring. That spring must be able to push up 750 grams. If it flunks that test, I must confiscate the weapon, and that weapon can't be used. The reason being, folks, is that this is one way of ensuring that each weapon is not lighter or can more easily score a touch than the other weapon. The second test I do is I use a gauge, which is a little bit more complicated to explain, but to make it simple, essentially I place the gauge in between the tip and the barrel just to make sure that the spring depresses the same amount for each weapon. So these are 2 tests that I conduct at the beginning. Other than that, as I direct, I call a halt when a touch has been scored. I look to see where the fencers are on the strip. I want to ensure that neither fencer is either touching, using their weapon to touch the side of the strip, and or doing any other number of penalties that we watch for.
Let me ask you, as far as the fencers now, when there is a touch, you stop the action. I noticed that sometimes directors will say, On guard, fence, and other times they'll just say fence. Is there a difference by telling the opponent or the fencers, the combatants, to be on guard, which means what? To get ready?
To get ready. Yes, we do use the word on guard, and on guard means is the fencer ready? So the director most likely usually asks the fencers, are you ready? Or please get on guard. If the fencers do not respond, then the director will say fence, meaning that now you can go and fight, begin the fight.
Okay. Now, we talked about different ways in fighting the épée. If you're an épée fighter, say with me, okay, you're giving away a few inches to me and some reach as such. How is your fight game going to change as opposed to fighting somebody that was the same height with the same reach as you? Does it alter much like more or less like a boxer would?
That's really true. I think just like in boxing, if someone has a long reach, in this weapon, it really is an advantage. So the closest target, John, if you have longer arms than me, because the whole body is target, I'm trying to hit the closest target. So I might try to hit your hand. Great on guard, folks. He's only been doing this a week, and he's got an incredible on guard. So here we are on guard, John. And Mike, the closest target is your hand. But if you've got a longer arm and you have your arm straightened out, it's going to be really hard for me to get there. So if I'm short, I'm going to try to be fast. I'm going to try to take your blade. I'm going to try to ram it into your chest. If you're long, you're going to try to use your reach. You're going to try to stretch me away from me and try to hit me maybe on my hand, on my wrist, or on my arm. Because as I try to go to your body, you can step back and hit me because you're so long. So those are some of the basic strategies, the basic tactics that these fencers look for in regards to height and length of arm.
Let me ask you now, in any sport, there's always a gray area. Where the rules, you can bend them to your advantage. And you can see in any sport, whether it's a hockey player using more of a curved stick, whether it's a pitcher in baseball lubing one up. In football, say, it's substituting your own football that you can do at the high school level, for instance, to accommodate your throwing hand. What are some of the intricacies, some of the secrets, some of the hints, you being a seasoned pro at this? I use pro in a metaphoric sense because, of course, this is only amateur competition. There is no such thing as professional fencing. What are some of the tricks of the trade that you can just bend the rules just a little, just to sway maybe the score or the advantage to yourself?
That's an excellent question, and I think I'll use the word bend to indicate what the fencers actually do. In épée, you'll see fencers bending their blades. By bending their blades, it is easier. The épée, once again, has a very, very large bell guard. The bell guard is what protects your hand, and remember, the hand is the closest target. Although the entire body is target, John, the hand is the closest target. So the bell guard protects the hand. The hand sits behind that big bell guard. So one of the things that you'll see the fencers do, to use your word, John, is bend their weapons. And what they're trying to do is by bending their weapon, by getting enough of a bend in that blade, they can more easily get to the hand, which is behind the bell guard. So that's one of the things that we watch for. There are some rules as to how much of a bend the blade can actually have. But bend in the weapon is one of the things that those fencers will try to do.
Stance. Now, let's stance. If I'm going to fence you, obviously I'm not going to turn my torso to you because I'm leaving more of a target area. So when I fence, I'm going to fence sideways. That's obviously the only reason why is because it gives you your lead hand, it gives you more reach, and as well, it makes you a smaller target.
Right.
I'm learning, aren't I, folks?
This might be a good time. Everyone watch John, because I would like everyone at home to just try this so you get a sense, get a chance to be a little interactive here in the sport and get a chance to feel what the stance is like. So, John, you're going to be our example, and I want everyone at home to try this. So, facing forward with both of your feet, I want you to take whatever is your lead hand. So, if your right hand, I want you to put your right foot forward. Just put your right foot forward, one tiny little step. And now turn the leg which is behind you so that it is facing this way, so that we're actually making a little V like this. Okay? Now, John and everyone else out there, I want you to bend your legs. Let's bend your legs. Here we go, when we're bending our legs. This is the on guard position.
I feel like I'm about to go in short track speed skating.
He is now ready to go get you. And so I hope that you had a chance to try that. And that is the on guard, or the starting position.
Now, as far as the parry and the post go, some fencers are better defensive fencers, i.e. at parrying, directing your blade if you're the attacker away from me, keeping your touch away, and they're not as aggressive. Then you have some fencers that are very good at riposte, which is, I guess we use the term as a counterpunch. Two distinct styles, offensive and defensive fencers, and both can be successful in their own right.
That's right. I think in épée you have, when people make offensive actions, some people try to be very aggressive and try to be the ones always initiating an aggressive action. There are some fencers who like to be the counterpunchers, meaning that as someone begins to make an aggressive action, John, they're going to try to make a counterattack, or they're going to try to step back. As you make a lunge to my body, you're going to try to step back with your arm and try to hit them maybe on the hand or on the arm up front while they're trying to get you to your body. So you see a lot of different styles, you see a lot of different approaches. It just really depends upon the temperament of the fencer and what they feel comfortable in doing with each opponent that they fence.
Great. He's the fourth musketeer, folks, if you're looking for him, D'Artagnan. We're going to be right back with more men's épée action right after this.
ABT Sports here back, folks, and I want to introduce to you Jim O'Neill, who is an NCAA champion in épée. What year did you win this title, Jim?
1987.
1987. How many fencers at Harvard have won an NCAA champion?
Well, it was just one until yesterday, or when the foil fencer from Harvard won, so being the second.
That's right, Kwame Van Leeuwen. Your sister fences as well. Was she? What was her record, and can you tell us a little bit about her competitive?
She competed for the University of Pennsylvania, and she was also NCAA champion and two-time Olympian as well.
And both of these fencers are from Concord, Massachusetts, so Massachusetts has quite both a collegiate as well as an Olympic history in the sport. Thanks, Jim, for joining us today.
No problem.
Well, right now the match you're seeing taking place is Brett Briley, who defeated Brandeis' Justin Burmeister. He is a fencer on your right. This is the men's épée. We're now into the semifinal competition. He is up against Gregor from the dreaded Penn State. Gregor from Penn State on the left. It is Briley from Ohio State on the right. This is men's épée, and this is the semifinals, I believe, Terrence Gargiulo.
This is actually the round of, still a round of 16, but the winners of this bout will advance to the final 8.
Okay, so the winner of this will advance to the final 8. Thank goodness for Terrence here because John is lost. So they're underway here now. You see the aggressor Briley is on the defensive here, okay? And Gregor seems to be taking the bout to him.
As you can see, Gregor is slowly working him into that hatched back box. Remember, folks, if he goes out of that box with both feet, he will be hit. Right there, we just had both lights. We saw a green light and a red light, meaning that both fencers were hit simultaneously. That makes the score, I believe, 2-2.
You know, we're looking at last year's men's épée. We had Ben Atkins from Columbia first, Chris Klaus from Princeton second, and Tamir Bloom from Penn third. Harold Bauder, who is in this competition from Wayne State, finished fourth. Now, what would you say if you were the coach of both of these fencers and you wanted to get a decided edge? What would be the advice, say, you would give to Briley?
Briley needs to be really aggressive here. You can see Gregor is just taking it to him, just really cornering him. So far, all of the bout has been on this half of the strip. Briley just needs to be a little bit more aggressive if he's going to be effective against Gregor.
Yeah. Briley defeated Burmeister. That was a great match that they had. He defeated Burmeister, I believe it was 15-13, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we were happy to see Justin from Brandeis University in this competition. I believe he finished somewhere between 9 and 16. It was an excellent result for him. He has only been fencing épée. He's been fencing for 8-9 years, but he's only been fencing the weapon épée for a year. So we were very happy to see him in the competition. Right now, you can see Gregor scoring with a flesh. That motion, that thrusting motion that he used is called a flesh, and he just fleshed to put on the red light and to score another touch.
And as we pan to the other match down to our right, it is currently a 3-0 match in favor of David Ensign from Yale, who is on the right, versus Rakesh Patel from Notre Dame on the left.
Two very experienced fencers here. This is going to be a good match. The score right now is 1-3, but I expect this to be a very close match. David Ensign from Yale University is a junior. He has also been on junior national teams here for the U.S. There, oh, Mr. Patel scoring on a beautiful flush, putting that red light on. Once again in this match, folks, if the red light is on, that means Mr. Patel has hit Mr. Ensign. And if the green light is on, which is the fencer on your right from Yale University, David Ensign, he's on your right. When that green light goes off, that means Mr. Ensign has scored a touch.
Now he's being backed up. Ensign being backed up into that, what do you call that again, the gray area?
The gray area, it's certainly a gray area because there's actually no specific name for it. It's the last meter of the strip, John. We refer to it as the hatch pattern because as you notice on the strip, there are lines going across in a hatch-like pattern. There's Mr. Ensign scoring a touch. Very nice touch. That puts him up, I think, 4-2. Is that correct, John? Can't quite see that score on the other side. 5-3.
Why was he just, it looked like Patel was just batting himself on his face mask. Why was that?
Well, he kind of felt stupid. David really picked a good time to score a touch, and Mr. Patel wasn't quite ready for it. He's trying to wake himself up.
Right now it's a 6-4 match in favor of Ensign.
Once again, these are 15. Oh, Mr. Ensign scoring a nice touch, taking the blade away from his target and hitting Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel is a little frustrated here. These matches are up to 15 touches. They are for a total of 9 minutes, unless, of course, 15 touches has been scored before the end of those 9 minutes. The 9 minutes is broken up into three 3-minute periods, and that is not a continuous clock, folks. As soon as the director calls halt or any time that a touch has been scored, the clock is stopped, and it is once again restarted when the fencers re-engage in fencing.
It's interesting to know that there are 3 rounds. It's almost like a boxing match.
Very much like a boxing match. Amateur boxing is 3 rounds. Luckily, it's not as subjective. In this case, we have some lights to help us out and determine who gets to hit. Right there, Mr. Ensign scoring another nice touch.
9-5 Ensign from Yale, leading over Notre Dame's Rakesh Patel.
Mr. Patel, there's now a 1-minute break. Mr. Patel is at this point trying to figure out what to do. You can see his coach, Yves Auriel from Notre Dame, walking up to his fencer. He's going to try to find out what his fencer's thinking and try to help him think through what the best strategy is to use.
Meanwhile, Briley is having a go at Gregor from Penn State. Gregor on the left, and Briley on the right. Don't have a score, Terrence, on this particular match. We'll have to watch the director. Who's the director of this match, incidentally?
Sándor Kiss, he's Hungarian, and he fenced in Hungary himself. He's one of the many Eastern Europeans that we spoke of that has come to this country and contributed their experience, their skills, their talents, and their time to improving fencing in this country. As a result, the U.S. is becoming a much stronger force in fencing. Oh, scoring a nice touch there, John.
What would be the most apt name for a fencer, Lance?
Lance or touche. Let's hope that fencers don't have too big of a touche, but that they score lots of touches. So here they go. And once again, there's a double touch. Both lights are on. Gregor is definitely on our left from Penn State, the aggressor in this bout. And as a result, he's doing a good job of controlling it, John.
Yes, he is. Briley on the right. I think Briley was... he got tapped, I'd say, with his energy. We were talking about how grueling this is, not only physically but mentally when you wait throughout the day. But he exerted a lot of energy in that battle with Burmeister moments ago.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a factor in this bout. They only have 5 minutes break in between these 15-touch matches. Sometimes it's real hard after a hard match to come back and be sharp and be ready to go. You can see him there just leaning over, just did not have enough energy, just could not quite get enough energy up to beat the experienced Gregor from Penn State. And Penn State's clapping away, folks. That means that they have another finalist in the men's individual Épée championship.
Yeah, just another day at the office or a day in the classroom for Penn State. Well, we pan back to this battle. Once again, on the left of your screen, Rakesh Patel from Notre Dame versus David Ensign from Yale. Ensign, in a big way, 13-5.
13-5, and they're just broadening it up to 14-5. Mr. Patel really is frustrated at this point. This is kind of a tough position to be in, to be down 9 touches. There's only 1 touch left to be scored by Mr. Ensign in order to advance to the final round, John.
He's about to be finished off. Put on a rotisserie, a spit here by Ensign. Ensign just doing a number on him. And Ensign wins going away 15-5. So, David Ensign from Yale University moves on as he defeats Rakesh Patel from Notre Dame. That was a good matchup, Terrence. And